Hi guys, welcome back to Otter's RC Garage. Today we're working on a Redcat Everest 10. So this Everest 10, this is my father-in-law's. He's bought this and he's not ran it really more than maybe 5 minutes. This thing is pretty much brand new. He's already bought a couple upgrades, the main one being rear wheel steer, which I'm sure you guys saw in the thumbnail. So this is going to be turned into a 4-wheel steer vehicle. He also has some high clearance links that he wants us to put on. We're also going to put some different rims and tires on this thing, give it more of a crawler look. Basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to make him something that he can use and crawl with us. He doesn't normally go on many of the nature hike trails, but where we were at last week, the hill, that place, I feel like he could take this, he could have a whole lot of fun there. I'm sure he could probably take this and it will look pretty awesome and it will do really well for him. Coming in here for a closer look at what this Everest 10 is. This is a panel frame truck, or just this flat plate style. It does not have frame rails, so it does eliminate it from a lot of crawl competitions. A lot of people will still let you run these in like a class 3, but that's on some really loose conditions. So that's really, I think, why these didn't gain much popularity. Because if you check this out, look how much flex that thing has before it actually lifts that other tire up. You can almost set the axle on the side. I know, and he knows, that you can't really use this in a competition, but for our own, fun and whatnot, we're gonna still try and make this thing somewhat of a crawling beast, because we can still take it out and we can still have fun with it. So we're gonna start this off fairly easy. First things we're gonna do is be installing these high clearance links and these skid plates onto the axles. These axles are plastic housings, or those metal skid plates. Those will help it out quite a bit. The high clearance links, I'm not sure why, but the rear links are not bent like the front ones are. And I'm talking about these lower links here. You see this one has a dog leg in it and this one's straight. So we got a set to replace those straight ones with the dog leg. Just give it that little bit extra clearance down underneath. First things we're gonna have to do, take the tires off. And next we'll be taking just this screw out and that screw out and swapping that link. So another thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be extending this out to the longest hole. That's going to give our shocks more of an angle. That should increase flex, and also it should increase our center of gravity. I guess lower our center of gravity, not increase it. So that should also lower our center of gravity. This also is going to put a tilt back on the axle, which should help give it a little bit more better of a crawl angle for crawling up onto rocks. So while I'm at it, I'm also going to do that same to the front. Alright, now this is a little bit tricky sometimes because you got to line the shock up with the link as well. I've noticed that not only these, but the axials seem to be the same way too, but at least the older ones that I've worked on. Alright, so now I'm going to do that to the other side, and then we'll move on to our next upgrade. Alright, so now the next upgrade that we're going to move on to, we're going to install our skid plates onto the front. They are held on just by the 2 screws on the front, pretty quick and easy. So get those on there and we'll get right back to you. I got this on. Got this nice looking shiny rock slider over the axle. It's a pretty heavy duty metal plate. It was a little bit bent, obviously probably from shipping or whatever else, but we got it straightened up and we got it on there. That's going to keep him nice and protected, especially when we go to a place like where we were at, where we got all those rocks to be climbing. So next up, we have the front or the rear steer conversion. From my understanding, we have a plate that's going to go on here that's going to hold the servo. We're going to remove these links, and it's going to come with another link that will go on to attach to the servo horn, and then we will end up having rear steer for this. So that will make this a big competitor and a lot more of like a Comp 3 rig. So if he was allowed to go into a Comp 3 class, he'd definitely be a competitor then. Either way, this thing is going to be something really good. So let's get the servo mounted, let's get the links on there, and then we'll mess around with the electronic side of it and getting it so that it all works. Alright, so I've only mounted 2 screws up because I'm not 100% sure which way this thing is going to twist these. So it is, I'm just going to put this horn on here, just more for reference. It's not going to be a permanent thing. So the way this is wired up, it has this little controller here that basically inverts the signal it gets from there. So we basically aren't doing anything fancy. I am going to have to hide all of this wire somewhere, but all it is, you know, regular servo, this little inverter module in line, and then it's paired up equally with the front steering servo. So this will have full-time rear steer. You will not be able to control it on and off like you would on a normal crawler that has it all built in. We're gonna quickly plug the battery in, and we're gonna quickly plug the controller in. So you guys might get a buzz, and I might cut all of this out. But basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test and see if this indeed does turn the opposite direction of what the front does. So it is working correctly. So basically you mirror the front axle to the rear end, it works. I figured that's the way it would be, but you always want to test these things before you go ahead and do it. I'm going to finish mounting these, taking these links off, mounting up the new steering link, and center. You can center this steering servo now. Alright, and I'll clean the wiring up. I'll get it basically ready to go and ready to test. And we're back, all finished up with the rear steer conversion. It's actually sort of hard to tell which side is the front and which side is the rear. I mean, it is pretty much a completely equal balanced out rig you got. I mean, as you guys can see now also. I threw these red wheels on with the bigger tires. I wanted to see how it would look with these size tires. Like I said, I did order rims for this, but the old tires aren't going to fit those rims that I ordered, so I'm going to have to get new tires. But I figured, see how these look, especially with this size, see if we need to get bigger or something. I think these are going to fit height wise, but this thing is definitely cleaned up. So as you can see here, this is the front, and move on to the rear. The side servo color and horn color identical. So let's try it out. Let's see how it does. Alright guys, introducing the rear wheel steer Gen 10 or Everest 10. That is pretty neat. I don't know about you guys, but that's pretty cool. That's pretty dang cool, I think. So guys, we have yet again made an awesome crawler out of something really, really cheap. This, like I said, look at that flex. That's ridiculous. So I'm gonna get some tires ordered for those other wheels so that he has something to use, and hopefully if the weather lets us, right now it's snowing, but if the weather lets us, maybe next Sunday or the following Sunday we'll go down and we'll hit up that place we hit up again with him, and we'll see how this does against some of our trail trucks. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next week.